So just while we set up, I have an admission to make. I don't like technology. I don't have a smartwatch. I don't even have a TV at home. Well, it's a kind of a joke. I say I don't like technology because I guess I work with technology and there's lots of technology, don't worry, in my presentation, tons of it, but I like what technology can do. I like its output. I'm not really a geek. I've never been into technology for technology's sake, but I started working digital about 10 years ago, and I'm just constantly fascinated by the things that technology can do. And my presentation today has kind of got two parts, a very brief introduction to who I am and what I do, so you know I'm not making it all up, and then I'm going to talk about retail and technology, a little bit about how retail has changed and how technology has changed retail, and then a bit more about how I think technology is going to actually be involved in developing and changing retail in the future. And it's all about what technology can do, not necessarily what it is, but what its effect can be on improving retail. Sorry, I've just been told I should introduce myself. My name's Simon Liss. I work for a company called Omnifi, and as I've said, the presentation is about a little bit about giving a tiny introduction to us, and then it's about technology and retail. Omnifi, we call ourselves an in-situ digital innovation agency. So we're a digital agency actually, but in situ is a bit of Latin, which means we only work in spaces, and those spaces right now are, excuse me, those spaces right now are retail and leisure spaces, and we're interested in what we call this grey area, where digital meets physical, which is great that I'm here today, so thank you for inviting me. I feel like I've come home. The Internet of Places is kind of what we do and what we work with, so it's great to be here in an area that actually specialises in this, and this is a growing area, it's a very exciting area, and still an area, to my mind, to be defined. So we work with retail, and I say retail and leisure clients, anything from high street retailers to big kind of sports venues, and all these people are interested in understanding how they're going to harness technology that's been walked into all these spaces for their ends. So to improve their experiences, improve the way they do business. Our biggest client is Thomson, the travel agent, and we do their interactive stores. We now run 35 of those, and we also work with restaurant chains, and I said sports venues, and do anything from big touchscreens to mobile devices to beacons, the whole lot. Any technology that we think is going to improve the customer experience in those places. So, onto the presentation. This is I've been trying to say this word all day, an apothecary. No, let's call it a chemist, yeah? A chemist, it's easy. And it's an example, I Google kind of old middle-aged shops and shops in the Middle Ages, and shops haven't really changed for hundreds of years. If you think about it, this is from 1300, this shop. It's a shop. We recognise it as a shop. And shops are kind of a bit like boxes. You can imagine a shop as a box, and what we do, and what we've done for hundreds of years, and what we still do now, is we put products in that box, probably from a factory, maybe from China, maybe they're made locally, and then we market those products in that box, and we try and get people into it. And then we hope that at least some of those people will then walk out of that box with some products and take it home. And that's really what shops have done for hundreds of years. So what happened, 20, 25 years ago? The internet came along, and all of a sudden, we didn't need shops anymore, apparently, because we could just order online and get it straight home. But that hasn't actually panned out that way. You know, high street's not dead, retail's still thriving, people still want to go into shops. And because there's something, and this is not for now, this is a whole other presentation on why people go into shops and continue to go into shops. But I guess the point of this is to say that shops still exist, but they exist in the context of online, and they also exist in the context of mobile internet. So now actually we're in a kind of an omni-channel world where people can shop anywhere. So I can shop on my phone, I can have it delivered at home, I can order from home and go into the shop and collect it, I could look in the shop, order it on my phone, collect it from home, take it back to the shop, whatever. You know, it gets all very complicated, and this is the new omni-channel world that we're living in. So the store has changed, and the store no longer functions exactly like it did, because it functions in the context of these other channels. So I'm going to look at kind of three areas where I think digital can help the shop kind of develop, and three areas where digital I think is going to impact on the future of retail. The first one I'm calling inside the box, and that's saying, okay, look, this old-fashioned kind of shop kind of paradigm, this format, is under competition from online. So these shops, these experiences, they need to change, yeah? And technology can help them change. They need to change because people have a choice. They can sit at home and buy online, or they can go to the shops. So they have to have reasons to go to the shops. And that might be a better experience, that might be more engagement, that might be more efficient shopping journeys. But we think that technology can help physical retail perform better. So that's what we call inside the box thinking. Then we can look at around the box thinking. So around the box is saying, okay, physical retail now exists in this wider context of online, wider context of mobile shopping. So if we know that it exists in this omni-channel context, then we should probably think about how it fits in with these new customer journeys. So around the box thinking is like saying, okay, how do we stitch up physical retail with the other channels? And finally, outside the box thinking, and I may be stretching it a bit here, but outside the box is about saying, okay, can we actually use technology to approximate physical retail experiences, but without any shop whatsoever? So it's not online, and it's not old-fashioned or traditional retail. It's somewhere between the two. And there's some new shopping experiences, some new technologies coming out which will do that. Now that sounds a bit mysterious, but it'll make sense when I come to it. So, firstly, inside the box. We know what this is? It's a 3D scanner. This is a 3D scanner, and this is the new technology that's come out. In this one, it reads German, but it's to find a light bulb. So you can bring in your old light bulb, you can put it in the scanner, and that scanner will recognise it. It's 3D, you can actually also scan pictures and such. You'll find that, so it's using online content to pulls that content into the screen, and then using IoT, it will light up in the shop what your replacement light bulb is. And so for my man, that's a good example of how web content and IoT is coming together in a physical retail environment to make that shopping journey easier. What was a really complicated, God knows what bulb I need kind of process becomes actually really simple in theory. I'll show you a lot of things in this presentation which you might think actually probably aren't good ideas, and that's part of the trick here is to sift the kind of like the good ideas from the bad ideas. But I'm just giving you, I guess, examples of thinking and approaches right now. This is something that we run in Omnifi. This is the Metro Centre, and it's the Tui Thompson travel store in the Metro Centre. It's got 3 access points in there, and the little dots and the heat maps are representative of people in that store. And we can measure these people in real time and measure where they are and what they're doing. I'm just going to show you a little video here. We don't have a snazzy video, so I had to borrow somebody else's.
Wouldn't you like to know how people shop in your store? Which products they inspect, and how do they react to them? Introducing Retailer In, our in-store analytics platform. Retailer In tracks and analyzes the way customers behave inside a store and react to merchandise. Through its intuitive dashboard, Retailer In provides actionable knowledge at your fingertips. Check right away how your store is performing. Visually analyze where shoppers pause longer through Retailer In heat maps. Build customer stratification based on in-store behavior to optimize your customer service. Retailer In relies on an innovative indoor positioning system to monitor shoppers with high accuracy. Through its scalable technology for processing location data, Retailer In extracts and gathers useful data that are displayed by means of advanced visual analytics. Retailer In is not just for monitoring in-store shoppers' behavior. Thanks to its ability to track and monitor individual shoppers in real time, Retailer In allows you to deliver right away customized and location-based offers. Retailer In. Read your store through the lens of your customers.
So that's using Wi-Fi to track shoppers. Well, actually Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled trolleys and carts and self-scanners. We do the same thing in the Metro Centre. This is a dashboard we created. So we're using technology, it's invisible technology, to map shopper behaviour. And what we're saying is actually we can use this technology and use this information to give the store information. So you get kind of you get data on what's happening in the store, and actually use that to improve the shopper experience. You can use all sorts of things. You can use Wi-Fi. You can use microsensors. In fact, using hack beacons, we can measure all sorts of things. We can measure if somebody's sat down in a seat in a furniture shop. We can measure how tall somebody is. And using video cameras, we can actually even see what gender you are, what age you are, and even what kind of race you are walking into a shop. So we see actually IoT, an Internet of Place, as enabling the store to become a listening store. So a bit like you can do online, you can observe every click, every page view, every add to basket. The store is becoming actually an environment that you can measure. And when you start to measure everything in store, you can actually say, actually, if we can measure it, if we can see what people are picking up, if we can see how tall they are, what gender they are, whether they've come in here before, we can actually start to say, okay, can that store respond to them? So the store, instead of just being a one-size-fits-all, a kind of dumb box, actually becomes a living thing. And we can say, right, we know you, we know your gender, we know your age, we know you've been here before. We can actually then start to create a store environment and store kind of point of sale and store signage that is reactive to you. And that's starting to happen. So that's inside the box, 2 examples, both about how you can drive better experience, better engagement, more efficient journeys using technology. Around the box, this is a new feature from Google. It allows you, when you search on your mobile phone looking for a product or a store, to see how busy this is. This is using kind of crowdsourced data on how many people go into these shops over time. And this is actually working in the UK now. If you Google stores, you'll see this starting to come up on the right-hand side. Google will also show you if a product is available in store or not. So for me, this is great because it's actually starting to say, okay, omni-channel shoppers, omni-channel environment, people are on their phones looking for products. We can actually go, okay, you're looking for this product, you're in this space, it's round the corner, the shop's not busy, and we start to tie up those journeys. So that shop has a digital footprint, those products have a digital kind of presence in the shop, and we can smooth that omni-channel journey from an online search, from a mobile search, into the store itself. Very quickly, Locals are a kind of location-based company. I'll try the sound on this. Well, just very quickly on outside the box, and this is an area I'm particularly interested in. How do you get retail concepts to kind of live beyond the store, beyond the physical environment, but not necessarily online? So this is a shoppable kind of screen outside a shop, and when the shop is shut, you can still shop what the shop sells. That sounds like a tongue twister. You can still shop what the shop sells, yeah, and have it delivered to home. So that's just about outside the shop. It's very close to being in the shop. It's on the outside of the shop. This gets a bit further away. You've probably all seen this. It's been doing the rounds for a couple of years. It's a kind of shoppable screens, shoppable signs on the tube in Korea. You can use your phone to scan items, add it to an online basket, and have them delivered to home. So we've removed ourselves from the retail environment to the tube on the way home, but you can still shop it like it was a real shop. So we're kind of approximating a real retail experience. There's another level of removal. This is a product called Haiku. With this product, you can shop like you were shopping in a shop, but shop it from your own home. So when you run out of a product and want a product and an additional product, you take the Haiku, you scan the product in your own home, that pings a message off, either adds it to a shopping list or adds it to an online basket. So you're shopping sort of like you would do in a shop, but from the comfort of your own home. And you're not online going through this and this and this and doing your kind of Tesco.com shop. So yes, I think lots of amazing things that retail can potentially do in the future, and technology supporting all of that. I guess the trick, and maybe what we'll come on to later on, is understanding whether these things are actually fulfilling a need and servicing a need, or whether they're just noise and whether they're hype. I think some of the things can potentially be very useful. Thank you for listening. We have a just quick plug for our newsletter that my colleague Jordan puts together. It's called The Internet of Place, and internetofplace.com. You can sign up. It's not about us. It's actually about any kind of retail digital trends that are happening. And please just follow us and email me if you don't speak to me afterwards and want to talk. Thank you very much.